Welcome to Rising Heat. This is the show where we get in the sauna and we see who can keep their cool. My name is Beno, Obano, professional rugby player, and I do some directing and producing in my spare time. Sky gave me a call. Sky said, we got the Fury and Usyk fight coming up. I said, what do you want me to do? I play rugby, I don't box. They said, can you get in with some boxers and see if they can handle the heat?
Boys, stop the chit chat, man. Get on with the questions.
So today with us, we have Johnny Nelson and Spencer Oliver, who were former boxers, former champions, to discuss the Fury and Usyk fight. But they don't know that the questions are gonna get a little bit harder. I've got receipts, basically. They're on the internet a lot, and they do a yappa. So we're gonna pressure them a little bit and hold them a little bit accountable for some of the things they've said.
I'm done. I'm a gentleman. I'm done.
And see if they're able to keep their cool still.
Thought it wasn't hard to notice. Told me there's a lot to see. Optimist, now I'm hopeless. Tried to take a part of me, said take a shot, losing focus. Scared but couldn't start all me. Optimist, now I'm hopeless. Tried to take a part of me. Tried to take a part of me.
Whoa, it's cold in here. A little stretch out before I get in there, you know. That's very hot. Can't breathe. I've got to get comfy. I'm not quite there.
You're really uncomfortable, it seems, man.
It's the heat.
This choice of setting it is a lot to do with the fact that Fury spoke about the sauna. What did he say? He was on your show when he spoke about it, right?
When he was in training camp with Klitschko, and he spoke about, and it's kind of an unwritten battle of the mind. You'd go in the sauna and you'd sit down and we'd talk, have a conversation, you keep the conversation going, and we'd all be like watching each other. It's not being officially lying, but watching each other who's trying to get out, and then you keep talking to him, and then when he gets out, think, can't take the heat. Beat you. My mind's mentally stronger than yours. And then the next one drops out, Fury knew the game, and he knew what Klitschko was doing, so he sat there in the sauna just chilling in Austria, beautiful place. And Klitschko's just talking normally, and as one fighter drops out, you see Klitschko, little smile on his face, and he's there. And Fury said, I was sat there. I thought, I know what you're doing, you're not going to beat me. He said, we were in there about an hour. He said, I was faint, I was struggling. He said he saw Klitschko get up and get out. He said, I did him, and I've done him.
Do you know what? It's genius because boxing is a psychological thing. Like, it's 80% mental, 20% physical. And when you get into penultimate rounds, like 9, 10, 11, 12, that's where it all counts. The physicalities leave you, and then it becomes a psychological battle. And he won the fight in the sauna. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know,
that's what the big deal was for him. He said, and I knew I was stronger than you. I knew that day.
Before the first
years before the fight.
That's what the show sort of originated from, like. So I go to the sauna like probably 3-4 times a week. And I'd go in and I couldn't leave until, if I met people in the sauna, I couldn't leave until the people I've met had left the sauna. So on that, who do you think out of the heavyweights would last the longest in the sauna?
Oh God, Usyk.
Usyk, 100%.
Yeah, man, Usyk.
He's not the heavyweight that would last the longest in the sauna, you know that.
So you think he's like the toughest?
Mentally, yeah. He's mentally.
I'll tell you the heavyweight that would last the longest in the sauna.
Go on.
And he's not even a name in the mix there. Derek Chisora. He would last longest in the sauna. What I'm saying is that kid's mentally tough, like unbelievably tough.
So when you get in the ring, most of the battle's done. So and the best is Tyson Fury. And he's got so many different faces, different fronts. He'll be your friend, he'll be your enemy, he'll be the clown, he'll be antagonistic. And you look at all different opponents and look at how he's approached them. The problem with the Usyk fight was he knew it was getting lost in translation. So when he called him a jumped up gap 2 middleweight, that just straight up, and Tyson knew that. So when he swore at him, whatever he said, he knew it wasn't getting to him. So you remember just before when they weighed in, and they're face to face, and Tyson had to get his head into him, try and use his physicality on him to try and get in his head, and Usyk just stayed blank. And you knew, and Tyson knows now, that those mind games that has been part of his winning forte are gone. Now he has to depend on strictly his boxing ability, and that worries him.
Fury is great at mind games and winning fights, like we talked about there with the Klitschko previously. Fury's great at winning mind games, and the fighter's mentally beat before he gets in the ring. Mike Tyson had that aura around him that when he walked in a room and he clicked his neck, his opponent was already beat, right? So when they have that aura around him, and Tyson Fury had that, and now he's come up against a guy who not only mentally doesn't buy into it, but has actually done the reverse psychology and flipped it and done it to him.
And it's
so now you go,
happened to Tyson.
that's never happened before.
He's never had to fight off the back of a loss, has he? Because obviously he drew against Wilder.
No, you've got to understand the loss is a big thing, but this is bigger. He's going in there against a guy. If you've been the best in the world and you truly believe you're the best in the world, and you get beat, maybe the first time you think it was luck. It was luck. I just dropped the ball then, you know, because you give yourself a trapdoor, an excuse. I did this, I did that, I did this, and you're not giving credit to your opponent. So now in his head he's thinking, well, am I the better fighter? Well, am I? So now that doubt that's never been in his career all the way through, it's a new world, a new dawn, a new thinking. And you've got to understand, with that doubt, you've got to then rebuild yourself, rebuild your confidence. And this is where the problem lies, how he can get his head around, not just losing, getting beat up at points, and how is he going to get his head around it? And that's the problem.
See, the beauty of what we've got going into this contest now is the unknowns, because Tyson Fury, this is new to him, right? So he's going to have to go back, rebuild, you know, go soul searching in many ways, and come back, reinvent himself, and come back bigger and better. Yeah. But the million-dollar question is, can he do it at this stage of his career? Now he can't win the battle of the mind games. Will that play a big effect in his performance, or will he feed off it and come back bigger and better?
Sky called me. They say, Benz, you play rugby, but you're good with the camera. I say, look, bro, I'm not a boxer. I'm hardly even a rugby player. I'm just a handsome young man. But what?
Come on! Hey, look out! Here!
In rugby, like, no man can chat to me, you know, like, I don't ever feel like they could say something that makes me nervous or makes me uncomfortable, like, no one. But it seems as if boxers like to try and intimidate other boxers, right? But can you truly do it? That's my question.
If you apply what boxers do to other sports, I am telling you, you are going to have a reputation, you're going to be feared. You've got to get in their head where they hate you. So they're working on emotion more than tactic. And that's why if you did it in rugby, you don't have to mean it, but they don't have to know that.
So it's not like you're actually intimidating someone. You're not trying to scare them, right?
Do you know why boxers tap into that psychological side of it and the emotional side of it? Do you know why? Because they're so sensitive. And because they're so sensitive, which is the craziest thing, because it's the ultimate gladiatorial sport, but I think that brings out the sensitivity in a boxer. So the boxer recognises that, so they know where to target so when they look at an opponent, you eye them up and straight away you go, I know where this guy's weakness is, and it might be here, it might be physical, it might be that I drag him in the later rounds, it might be here, the weakness. But fighters ultimately go for here because that's where the fighters won and lost before that, and I think that's what it is, that whole sensitivity thing, and it's about tapping into that, and Fury normally does that. He's great at that.
I have to touch on that point because obviously there are a load of boxers that fight, and to call like the majority of them sensitive, like it rubs me up the wrong way, like a little bit. Just because you have to qualify that statement. Do you get what I mean? Like why would all boxers be sensitive?
But we all are. So when you're playing rugby and you're saying, well, nobody can talk to me, because they've not said anything that actually gets to you. If you can upset your opponent, don't worry, man. Afterwards, apologise years down the line, but you've got to upset your opponent. And Tyson Fury has been a king here.
And do you know what it is about when we're talking about that sensitive thing, yeah? You know, everyone's sensitive, everyone's got feelings to an extent and everything else. But I think because boxing's the ultimate gladiatorial sport, boxers lock that sensibility into a box. And when the box is opened, it becomes even more emotional. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Because that boxer you're talking about is essentially self-doubt. Like, because we all have insecurities, right?
Absolutely.
And you're basically like, let me just play on this insecurity right here. Let me just play on this bit of self-doubt.
Let me ask you this, in rugby, who would you rate massively? Who's on your level?
What, like my position or just like a player?
Yeah, a player, now.
Say I'll go for Marcus Smith.
And what's your relationship like with Marcus?
I have a good relationship with him.
You have a good relationship?
Yeah.
So when he's the opposition, and you're playing, he's your mate, you're cool, you're like, all right, man, but you're playing.
I wouldn't say we're cool, but we're good, like, there's not a problem.
So what I'm saying is, so if you think he's the Don, everybody else thinks he's the Don, so you've got to take the Don out.
Bruv, he's a bad boy, but I'm a bad boy too, you know? Yeah. That's how I feel about this. I'm like, bro, I'm the baddest boy.
But the thing is, to be the baddest boy, take it away from him.
See, I don't see it like that.
But that's what you've got to do.
Do you think it affects your character? Like, it affects the person you are? If you behave in that manner while you're in that scenario, are you now a worse person as a result of doing that?
As far as the public are concerned, yes. It's pantomime. You go to Pad's Mine at Christmas, you love the villain or hate the villain, but you always want to watch the villain. You want to see him live or die. If you are happy to go in there as the villain and be unpopular and not caring what the public say, you've got them, because they're going to pay to watch you get knocked out. And the more people want to put their bums on seats and watch you get knocked out, to get the TV companies like it, the promoters like it, because you've created, evoked emotion.
Good answer, but do you personally think you're a better or worse person? So am I a worse person for doing that to that person? Okay, that was basically what I think.
That's the game.
That's the game. You see that as part of the whole package. You don't see it as separate.
I'm quite sure, and I hear this a lot, Tyson Fury, on a one-on-one, away from everything else, is actually a nice guy, but he plays a great character. Conor Benn, brilliant at it. You know, Chris Eubank Jr., brilliant at it. Ali was a god at it. Tyson was a god at it. He didn't care if you hated him, because my man's getting $30 million a fight.
Yeah, that's a different question though. Is it okay because of money? I argue not, but I argue it's okay if it's part of the game.
You're in the game and you want to make the most out of it in and out of the ring. And so if you're willing to commit 100%, 1000%, you'll do it if it works for you. Nice guys, people like nice guys, but you know, people don't want to see nice guys, they want to see bad men.
Put me the sauna, I do an hour. 2 weeks, maybe 3. I sleep in it.
Wait, I've got to tell you, half an hour in the sauna's a long time.
It is a long time.
It's a long time.
Let's double up quiz, why don't you do an hour?
Playing mind games already.
An hour.
Wow.
Let's do an hour.
I would happily do an hour, but the issue is, I don't know if Sky will let us do an hour.
Well, I don't blame Sky, man. Let's do an hour. Fine, it, let's, do 2 hours.
I don't know if you can handle that at your age.
All right.
You're only on page 2 there.
Don't worry, man. It's cool, man. Relax, guys.
Hey, relax.
What's our timing on here? We've done 20.
20 minutes, is that all? I just warmed up.
This dude, mate, I'm telling you. See that? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He broke me. He's done it.
Because you lot use the internet, I'll pull out some of the stuff that you've been saying. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you didn't think Tyson was gonna get to this fight.
I said, I don't think Fury was going to come for this fight because it's broken him. You know, all of a sudden, he's surrounded by people, in my opinion, that are too scared to tell him how it is. Tyson, don't do that, do this, don't that. The only person that's vocal out there, and this is controversial, is his dad. His dad calls out the team around him, and even though his dad's being classed as the villain, he's the only one that's telling the truth. The one thing what was alarming, which I'd never hear Tyson Fury talk publicly, might do it privately, well, it's about money, I'm going to get paid a hell of a lot of money. He's giving himself a trapdoor. So he's thinking, I don't mind if I win, I lose. I'm getting paid a lot of money. I'd never heard him talk like that.
So you still think he might be broken?
Oh, yes, he's broken, but he's getting paid mad money for it. He's broken. He's broken, I'm telling you. And he's going to go out there and like, you know what? I'm getting paid a lot of money. For him to talk like that, Tyson Fury to talk like that, I'm surprised. AJ did it. And when he started doing, oh, come on, man, don't do that, because you're past that stage of saying I'm doing it for the money, because you're like both worth half a bill. So don't say that, you know, say what's true. You know, look at what your past said. You know, Tyson Fury says, I'm a fighting man, that's what I do. Now all of a sudden, I'm getting paid a lot of money. He's giving himself a trapdoor. So he's going to go out there, give it his all, but he knows this guy is capable of beating him. I believe that, and if Tyson gets in the ring, you know what, I'm wrong. But he's not the same Tyson that got in the ring last time.
So Spencer, you're sitting on the fence at the moment, that's what
absolutely. Because I don't believe he's a broken man. And I think that this is the first time that we've seen Fury have to come back from a loss. You look at the last few years, we haven't seen the performance that would beat Oleksandr Usyk. So yes, I was still very much on the fence with this one, saying, look, I don't think that psychologically he'll be broken from this one, he'll be defeated from that. I think that truly he'll believe he'll win it, 100%, and he'll put himself in that camp and try and win it, but it's whether he can do it.
Yeah, Spen, it's not about the loss, it's the fashion of the loss.
Yeah.
We've never seen him hurt. So even Wilder didn't hurt him like that. We've never seen him hurt and chopped down so much by anybody. Remember this jumped up gap tooth middleweight, they adapted to him. So all the things he said and insulted him before the fight, this guy staggered him, referee saved him. You know what happened. You know, so for him, he's got to have a completely different mindset to think, I've got to motivate myself to do this. I believe mentally that Tyson Fury that we know has gone.
Realistic thing about this fight going into this one is that unknowns, not because of the manner that Fury was beaten in the first one, but how can he come back from it? And we don't know that yet. We don't seen that.
Because that's what I was about to ask. Because as a boxing casual, all the rhetoric and all the information I read is, what is Tyson Fury going to do now? Yeah. And that's all that interesting. But can Usyk just beat him?
You only have one time to make a first impression. Now Usyk's got the measurement, he's got the blueprint. Tyson Fury was in the same position, went in there saying, I'll show him who's the best boxer, I'll try and outbox him. Got dealt with, and now you see him, he looks bigger, he looks fuller, so now he's thinking, I'll make sure that doesn't happen. I'd be foolish to think Tyson's going to run in there and try and put it on him, but I know Tyson Fury has given Usyk the blueprint to beat him, and Usyk is going to pickpocket him. But remember, when Tyson Fury said to Usyk, yeah, you had me going, but you couldn't finish me off, that was round 9. In round 6, Tyson had Usyk in the same position, and he couldn't finish him off.
Yeah, wasn't that he couldn't finish him off? Usyk still had the legs beneath him to get himself out of trouble and use that space, utilise that space, and that's what we're talking about. Is a Fury of old would have taken that shot, he would have got himself out of trouble, out of distance, moved, but his legs just weren't beneath him. And I know certain shots do different things.
I said after the Ngannou fight, his legs are gone. His legs aren't the same legs.
I've obviously done the reading, and people spoke about Tyson Fury and Usyk's weakness in his midriff. That was like a big thing. He's weak there. He's been knocked down there. And they say that's where Tyson should go to win. What does Usyk have to do in like technical boxing terms to win this fight? Do you know what I mean?
Not leave him alone. When he said the first fight, I'm not going to leave you alone, he needs to do the same again. He needs to gas the bigger fella. And Usyk put his heart and soul in there, got hit with a couple of shots to make sure Fury had to fight at his pace. So what he has to do again is to make Fury fight at his pace, because Fury's a clever boxer. And so he's clever enough to coast his way through. Usyk's going to make him fight at his pace, take the pace away from him, make him punch when he wants to step back and have a rest, make him wrestle when he doesn't want to wrestle.
He's sort of done that in the first fight. You know, he went to...
You're saying the same thing again. Do the same thing again.
It's not broke, don't fix it. Like what Usyk done was in the first fight, straight here, he went out there and he took the jab away from Fury, which is Fury's main asset, because as soon as he gets in range with that jab, he's got the longer arms. As soon as he's in range, land the combinations, let the shots go, target the body. But he didn't do that. And he allowed Usyk control, he allowed Usyk to control the whole distance and the whole pace of the fight, because he was dominating behind the jab. Sounds like these two are worrying a little bit, don't it? Does it? The cracks are starting to appear.
See, it's all mind games. And right now, it's boxers against rugby players. I'm going to destroy this, brother.
This guy.
Excuse me, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Had a good feed.
No, I'm good.
Oh, no problem.
You can ask me if you want.
You look like you're struggling, bro. The amount of times I've seen him look down and just be like, what the did I say yes to?
Mate. It's body mass, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean?
You've actually said this earlier. I said Usyk ran away with it. But if Tyson's at his best, he'll win.
That's a cop-out. The bottom line is, when we get into round 8, the fight's all level. Fury's made an amazing comeback. He's doing well. He's hurt Usyk in the 6th round. Didn't finish him. Should have jumped on him maybe quicker than that. And then Usyk, round 9, was the changing point, because Usyk tagged him, set him up with that jab, right hand round the side. That took Fury's legs away, and he jumped on him. And let me tell you something else as well. If Usyk would have let that shot go, which he was well entitled to, he would have knocked Tyson Fury out. He didn't let it go, and we saw what happened. Tyson Fury has amazing powers of recovery, and he'll come back, and that's what he done. Both guys were feeling the pace at the end. Big question mark, mate, is what has it taken out of both of them at this stage of their career? You know, we're not going to know that, but Usyk will start an overwhelming favourite for me going into this for that reason.
I heard a lot about ring IQ, and we both know both fighters have great ring IQ. Whose ring IQ do you think is actually better, and why?
Usyk's. Even though that doesn't mean Tyson's isn't. Tyson is an unbelievable boxing historian. He knows everything about you, your opponent, your opponent's opponent, your trainer, your coach, and everything. At any era in boxing, he loves the sport. And this is why this fight was so precious, because you had two fighters that their IQ is ridiculous. There are no hustlers in there. There are no hustlers in there because he's a big puncher and he's knocked him out to get to that stage. Tyson Fury is a boxing historian, but so is Oleksandr Usyk. And so that's why this fight is so well matched, because these guys have the same boxing IQ. They have, and you saw it in the last fight. You saw it.
So what do you guys predict?
I don't think it's impossible for Tyson Fury to win. But of late, his last 3 fights have told me his legs are gone. He's not the fighter he was. And the fighter he was beats Usyk. The fighter he is doesn't.
Do you have a round in mind?
No, I think Usyk chops him down, and it'll be points again, because Tyson's got too much pride to get to lose that way. But Usyk will pickpocket him, and it will be a tough roller coaster. 13 rounds on round 13. But I think Usyk gets it. And again, it's one of those fights.
Yeah, I'm with Johnny. I think Usyk, wider points. I think that he will just use the space when he wants to use the space, pressure him when he wants to pressure him. And I think that, yeah, Tyson Fury may come back a little better. I don't think the defeat's going to do anything but fuel him. But I'm with Johnny. I just don't think that it's there anymore at that level. And for Usyk, the slightly fresher of the two, I pick Usyk to win.
When I'm seeing like the way people talk about AJ and they say he should retire, I'm like, bro, like when you're an athlete, you don't tell other people to retire. Bro.
Yeah, of course.
You don't do it. Like
you don't do it.
But what do you think if Fury loses after this fight? What do you think he should do?
Let's go back to that point. The AJ saying I said he should retire. That was just my opinion, that was my opinion because the way he got finished, and then you look at it, you thought, no, you know what I mean? I'm thinking this shouldn't be him because, and I love Daniel Dubois, I love Don Charles, but AJ that has done everything he's done should have been able to deal with Daniel Dubois. It's gone, and so I said it, but it was coming from a place of love. And people think when you say something negative about a fighter, you don't like him. It's coming from a good place. Like, how sad was it for AJ fans to see AJ taken out like that? Do you want to see that again? He's worth, again, $500 million and the rest. So now with Fury, if he loses, it will also be the fact that he knows the fight that will always sell out is him and AJ. And I personally think that's why AJ hasn't fought Daniel Dubois in the rematch. Yeah, in the rematch. They're going to see how this fight goes on, and then put them in together because they've got 12 months left in their career.
What do you think? You're a bit silent now. He's getting to you.
No, we don't think exactly the same. Listen,
You want to get out? You can get out first if you like.
I'll go. That's fine.
You keep that right.
That's fine. I'm done.
Come on.
I'll say. You know, I'll just wait for you. It's my show, right?
Come!
I could have smashed him if I wanted to.
I'm glad you've enjoyed the show. I hope you love it and share it with your friends. The winner today is Johnny. Producer, pull up the leaderboard. Let's see how they did.
Thought it wasn't hard to notice. Told me there's a lot to see. Optimist, now I'm hopeless. Tried to take a part of me, so take a shot, losing focus. Scared but couldn't start with me.
Thanks for coming.
Tried to take a part of me,
Are we going to do like half an hour more?
That's why he's our longest reigning WBO cruiserweight champion of the world, mate.
Tough old man.
Stop that.
Why do you keep saying that old man business?